Good morning, Alex and friends. I'm Grace. Today is Sunday, June 22nd, 2025, and you're listening to Alex's News. The weather in Riverside today will see a high of 81.5 degrees Fahrenheit, with the low dropping to 60.9 degrees overnight. It looks like a beautiful day to enjoy the outdoors, but remember to stay hydrated if you're spending time outside. Coming up on Alex's News, we'll first explore the significant legal challenges Texas is currently facing concerning its new school law, examining the various complexities and potential repercussions. Following that, we'll take a fascinating look at how a seemingly unassuming college paper went on to profoundly revolutionize the entire shipping industry, forever changing how goods are transported globally. All these compelling stories and more are coming your way. Stay tuned. We begin this morning with a significant development out of Texas, where a new law is stirring up a lot of debate and is already setting the stage for what many expect to be a major legal showdown. For more on this, we turn to our reporter Ethan, who has been following the story closely. Ethan, give us the lowdown on what's happening.
Thanks, Grace. On Friday, June 21st, 2025, just yesterday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed Senate Bill 10 into law. This is a very controversial measure that mandates the posting of the Ten Commandments in every public school classroom across the state. This law is set to take effect for the upcoming 2025 to 2026 school year, making Texas the nation's largest state to attempt such a requirement, according to reporting from ABC News and WITN.
That sounds like it's going to spark some serious discussion. Can you elaborate on the specifics of this mandate? What exactly will schools need to do?
Absolutely, Grace. The law is quite precise about how these displays must be handled. According to KHOU 11 News and ABC News, each public elementary and secondary school classroom will be required to exhibit a durable poster or framed copy of the Ten Commandments. It must be at least 16 by 20 inches, which is approximately 41 by 51 centimeters. It also needs to be placed conspicuously, meaning easily seen, with the text legible from anywhere in the classroom. What's interesting is that schools are not required to use their own district funds for these displays. Instead, they must accept privately donated copies, provided those copies meet all the specified requirements. Furthermore, the law mandates a very specific English version, one that begins with the phrase, quote, "I am the Lord thy God," and includes the traditional prohibitions, according to KHOU 11 News.
So no mixing and matching of versions, it seems. This bill apparently sailed through the legislature. What were the votes like?
It certainly did, Grace. Senate Bill 10 passed relatively easily through the Republican-controlled State House and Senate during the session that wrapped up on June 2, 2025, exactly 20 days ago. In the Senate, the votes were 20 to 11 and 21 to 10. In the House, it passed with a vote of 82 to 46 after an amendment was added, as reported by KHOU 11 News.
And now that it's law, the legal challenges are inevitable, right? What kind of legal standing does this new law have, especially considering past rulings?
You hit the nail on the head, Grace. The bill's signing immediately set the stage for significant legal battles. Critics are already arguing it's an unconstitutional violation of the separation of church and state, and legal challenges are highly anticipated, according to ABC News and WITN. The American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, has already vowed to sue, a commitment reported by KHOU 11 News. Legal experts believe this law faces an, quote, uphill battle, end quote, in federal courts. This is largely due to the Stone v. Graham precedent, where a nearly identical Kentucky law was struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court 45 years ago. That ruling from 1980 is really the bedrock for many of these arguments, again, as per KKHOU 11 News.
That's a pretty strong precedent to go up against. Are there any other recent legal developments that might impact this?
There certainly are, Grace. This law's prospects are further complicated by a very recent ruling. just 2 days ago on June 20th, 2025, from the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. This court covers Texas cases, and it ruled that a similar Louisiana law was unconstitutional, as reported by ABC News. Louisiana's Attorney General Liz Murrill has already stated plans to appeal that decision to the U.S. Supreme Court. Arkansas is also facing federal challenges for a similar law. So Texas finds itself in a trio of states pursuing such mandates alongside Louisiana and Arkansas, a point highlighted by ABC News, KHOU 11 News, and WITN. It seems these states are trying to make a 10-command for their classrooms.
That's a clever bit of wordplay, Ethan. Given these legal hurdles, what are the supporters of this bill saying to justify it?
Supporters, including co-sponsor Republican State Representative Candy Noble, contend the bill focuses on what is, quote, historically important to our nation educationally and judicially, end quote. They argue the Ten Commandments are foundational to U.S. systems and serve a historical, not purely religious, purpose, as per ABC News and KHOU 11 News. Proponents are really hoping the current conservative-leaning U.S. Supreme Court will overturn Stone v. Graham. The law also includes strong legal protections. The state attorney general is committed to defending schools facing compliance lawsuits and covering all associated expenses, costs, judgments, or settlements, according to KHOU 11 News. This stance actually aligns with Governor Abbott's own success back in 2005. As state attorney general then, he argued before the Supreme Court for Texas to maintain a Ten Commandments monument on its Capitol grounds, a success noted by ABC News.
So they're hoping for a different outcome this time around with the current court. What about the opponents of the bill? Who are they, and what are their primary concerns?
On the flip side, opponents, including some Christian and Jewish faith leaders, argue such measures infringe on the religious freedom of students and staff, according to ABC News. They point out that Texas's public school system is massive, with nearly 6 million students across approximately 9,100 schools. Many of these students come from incredibly diverse faiths with no connection to the Ten Commandments. They feel this mandate doesn't just cross a line, it completely erases it.
It sounds like a significant cultural and legal flashpoint. Is this Ten Commandments mandate part of a larger trend in Texas or other states?
It definitely is, Grace. This Ten Commandments mandate is part of a broader trend in conservative-led states to incorporate religion more overtly into public education. In fact, on the very same day he signed Senate Bill 10, Governor Abbott also signed Senate Bill 11. This is a separate law allowing school districts to adopt policies permitting daily, voluntary periods of prayer and religious text reading for students and employees, provided they have consent and it doesn't replace class time. School boards must vote on implementing this within 6 months, according to ABC News and KHOU 11 News. So we're seeing a dual push, you could say.
Well, Ethan, it certainly sounds like this is just the beginning of a long legal and public debate over these issues. We appreciate you breaking down all the details for us this morning. Thank you.
My pleasure, Grace.
That was our reporter, Ethan, covering the new developments in Texas. The information for this report came from ABC News, WITN, and KHOU 11 News. For our second story this morning, we delve into the passing of a true titan of industry, a man who completely reshaped how goods move around the globe. We're talking about Frederick W. Smith, the visionary founder of FedEx, who passed away yesterday, June 21st, 2025. Joining me now is our reporter, Chloe, to walk us through his incredible life and legacy. Chloe, it sounds like he delivered quite a legacy. What can you tell us about his passing?
Indeed, Grace. Frederick Wallace Smith, better known as Fred Smith, passed away at the age of 80. While some initial reports indicated his death on June 22nd, the officially confirmed date of his passing was June 21st, 2025, as confirmed by FedEx itself. Sources like the Commercial Appeal and U.S. News and World Report verified this sad news, with FedEx posting an official message dated June 21st stating he had died earlier today, according to localmemphis.com. His passing truly marks the end of an era for the global logistics industry, and especially for Memphis, Tennessee, which he transformed into a global cargo hub.
He certainly did. It's hard to imagine our modern world without FedEx. Where did this incredible journey begin for Fred Smith?
His roots were in Mississippi, Grace. Fred Smith was born on August 11, 1944, in Marks, Mississippi, but was raised in Memphis after his father's death when he was just 4, according to the Commercial Appeal. Despite a childhood hip disorder, he was quite an active athlete. Interestingly, at age 15, he learned to fly planes and even co-founded Ardent Record Company, as also reported by the Commercial Appeal. But his groundbreaking idea, the one that would become FedEx, truly took flight during his time at Yale University.
So this revolutionary idea for package delivery was born in a college classroom? That's quite something.
It truly is. While an economics and political science major at Yale in 1965 or 1966, he outlined his innovative hub-and-spokes delivery system in a term paper. ABC News, the Commercial Appeal, and U.S. News and World Report all detail this pivotal moment. This system envisioned coordinating air cargo flights through a central hub to enable time-sensitive deliveries. He recognized, according to the Commercial Appeal, that existing passenger plane routes were simply inefficient for urgent cargo like machine parts and medical supplies. Before bringing this vision to life, he served 2 tours of duty in Vietnam as a decorated Marine Corps veteran, earning 2 Purple Hearts. He later stated that his Marine experience profoundly influenced his management style and his strong belief in giving back to society, as ABC News has uncovered.
A true patriot and visionary. The early days of any startup are tough, but I've heard legendary stories about FedEx's early financial struggles. What were they up against?
They were certainly flying on a wing and a prayer, Grace. Upon returning to civilian life in 1970, Smith incorporated Federal Express on June 24, 1971. The name Federal was chosen to project importance, hoping to appeal to the Federal Reserve Bank, though that deal never materialized, as ABC News reports. The company officially began operations on April 17, 1973, from Memphis, chosen for its central U.S. location and airport suitability. They started with a humble fleet of 14 small Dassault Falcon 20 jets, serving 25 U.S. cities and delivering a mere 186 packages. By September 1973, according to the Commercial Appeal, they were reportedly near bankruptcy, losing millions. Facing a critical $24,000 fuel bill with only $5,000 left after a loan denial, Smith took a desperate, legendary gamble. He flew to Las Vegas with that last $5,000 and won $27,000 playing blackjack, as Fox Business reported.
That's the story of legend, a risky bet that paid off.
It was just enough to cover the immediate fuel expenses for another week, as Fox Business noted. While dramatic, Smith himself later downplayed its financial decisiveness, stating to LiveMint.com, quote, "The $27,000 wasn't decisive, but it was an omen that things would get better," unquote. The true turning point, according to Financial Express, came when he secured an additional $11 million in funding. FedEx finally achieved its first profit in July 1975, the Commercial Appeal reports.
And what about the crucial role he played in deregulation? That must have been a game changer.
Absolutely pivotal, Grace. Fred Smith personally lobbied in Washington, D.C. for 2 years, even temporarily handing over day-to-day operations of FedEx to champion the cause, as HBS.edu details. His efforts culminated in President Jimmy Carter signing the Air Cargo Deregulation Act in 1977. This removed the Civil Aeronautics Board's authority over air cargo routes and lifted restrictions on aircraft size, freeing FedEx from a regulatory stranglehold, as UARC.edu and Mercatus.org explain. The impact was immediate and profound. Freed from constraints, FedEx could now operate larger aircraft like the Boeing 727s, significantly increasing cargo capacity and efficiency, which dramatically reduced operating costs per unit, according to hbs.edu. This allowed them to fully realize the potential of their hub-and-spoke model, leading to immense growth, reaching $1 billion in revenue by 1983.
It's incredible how one person's vision could literally transform an entire industry. What would you say is his most enduring legacy beyond the packages themselves?
Beyond the millions of packages delivered daily, Fred Smith's enduring legacy is multifold. His hub-and-spoke system truly transformed American business by enabling time-sensitive deliveries and reducing the need for large inventories, making FedEx an economic bellwether, according to ABC News. Under his leadership, FedEx introduced innovations like drop boxes in 1975 and, notably, the ability for customers to track their packages online in 1994, the same year the company officially rebranded as FedEx, as Britannica.com notes. More recently, FedEx played a crucial role in distributing personal protective equipment and vaccines during the COVID-19 pandemic, as the Commercial Appeal highlights. He also fostered a, quote, people service profit culture, believing that investing in employees would lead to impeccable service and profitability, a core tenet listed on FedEx.com.
His impact on Memphis, Tennessee is also undeniable, isn't it?
Absolutely, Grace. His decision to base FedEx there transformed the city into a global logistics hub, making it America's distribution center, and the company the city's largest employer and an economic engine, according to MemphisChamber.com. Beyond economic contributions, Smith was a significant, though often private, philanthropist. He quietly supported various causes, including endowing a scholarship fund for the children of Navy service members studying STEM through the Marine Corps Scholarship Foundation, as ABC News and U.S. News and World Report reveal. He also supported local institutions such as the University of Memphis, the Memphis Zoo, and the FedEx Forum, according to the Commercial Appeal.
He sounds like a man who preferred to let his actions speak louder than words.
He certainly did. Despite his prominence, he largely avoided the public spotlight, dedicating his life to work and family, as ABC News states. He even made a cameo appearance in the 2000 film Castaway, which famously featured a FedEx employee. Smith maintained close ties with U.S. presidents, including George W. Bush, who reportedly considered Smith for defense secretary, and John McCain, for whom Smith was a campaign co-chair and pallbearer, the Commercial Appeal reports. He began stepping back from leadership roles in recent years, ceding his role as CEO in 2022 to Raj Subramaniam, though he remained executive chairman until his death. He famously stated, quote, "I don't care about any legacy. The legacy will be the success of the company," unquote, according to the Commercial Appeal. U.S. Representative Steve Cohen of Tennessee called Smith Memphis's most important citizen, acknowledging his deep commitment to the city and its institutions, as ABC News and U.S. News and World Report both cite. And former Memphis Mayor Jim Strickland described him as, quote, "the most important Memphian of all time," unquote, as local Memphis.com reported. He is survived by his wife Diane and 10 children, according to Hindustan Times.
What an extraordinary life and impact. Thank you for that comprehensive look at Fred Smith's remarkable journey, Chloe. He truly delivered on his promise to change the world.
My pleasure, Grace.
We'll be right back after this short break. Here are some other headlines. In Athens, the curtain is coming down on a piece of history. The iconic Odeon of Herod Atticus, an ancient stone theater on the slope of the Acropolis, is preparing to close for a 3-year restoration following its current summer season. This final act coincides with the 70th anniversary of the Athens Epidaurus Festival, which will feature a star-studded lineup, including the Stranglers, Air, and a production of Puccini's Turandot. The theater, built in memory of a Roman benefactor's wife, has seen both glory and ruin over its 1,800-year history. Officials say the extensive work is essential for its preservation, meaning this historic stage is simply taking a long intermission before its next encore. Meanwhile, the weather took a twisted turn in the upper Midwest. A powerful tornado tore through a rural area near Enderlin, North Dakota late Friday, killing 3 people. The victims, 2 men and 1 woman, were found at 2 separate locations in Cass County. The National Weather Service has given the tornado a preliminary rating of at least an EF3, with winds up to 165 miles per hour. The storm, which also spawned a derecho, knocked out power for 24,000 customers and even derailed a dozen empty train tanker cars. Governor Kelly Armstrong has since declared a statewide disaster. Tragedy in the skies over southern Brazil, where a scenic hot air balloon ride went down in flames, claiming 8 lives and injuring 13 others. The incident occurred Saturday in the tourist town of Praia Grande. Witnesses say a fire erupted in the balloon's basket shortly after takeoff. The pilot attempted to land and told passengers to jump. As they did, the loss of weight caused the balloon to tragically rise again, with 8 people still trapped inside before it plummeted to the ground. This disaster has raised looming questions about industry safety, as it's the second fatal hot air balloon crash in Brazil in less than a week. In sports, it was a masterful performance on the mound in Omaha. LSU pitcher Cade Anderson threw a complete game 3-hit shutout to lead the Tigers to a 1-0 victory over Coastal Carolina in the first game of the College World Series Finals. It was the Cade Anderson show from the start, as he struck out 10 and silenced a potent Chanticleer's offense that hadn't been shut out in 36 games. The win snaps Coastal Carolina's 27-game winning streak and puts LSU just 1 victory away from its second national championship in 3 years. And finally, a chilling new report from the Associated Press paints a grim picture of modern warfare. A confidential legal brief, submitted to the International Criminal Court, accuses the Russia-linked Wagner Group of committing war crimes by promoting its own atrocities on social media. The filing alleges the mercenaries have used platforms like Telegram and X to disseminate graphic videos from West Africa showing mutilation and alluding to cannibalism. Lawyers argue this digital campaign of terror is a calculated strategy to intimidate and dehumanize, and that the very act of spreading these images constitutes a war crime in itself. The brief urges the court to investigate not only the physical acts, but also these crimes committed through the internet. That's all we have for now. Today's episode was made by Alexander King with Claude Sonnet 4.0, Gemini Pro 2.5, Gemini Flash 2.5, and Google Cloud Text-to-Speech. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, Alex.